About a month ago, I did a video about horrible Dungeon Master advice. This is advice that I constantly run across on a couple online communities whose names I still refuse to mention. And you all really seem to enjoy that, so this week we're going to ridicule some more horrible Dungeon Master advice. Now, over on one of these online communities, a couple of folks got really upset with me about my last video. I think they failed to see the humorous intent of a rampaging rant video. And so since this video is also going to go up on that particular online community, I offer the following disclaimer. This video is intended to be humorous. This style of humor may not be to your liking. If you are easily offended or take objection to videos that don't cater to your own personal tastes, please stop viewing this video now. You have been warned. Hey, what's up? Luke Hart here. Welcome to the DM Lair. And just in case you're new to my channel, I create weekly D&D videos with information and resources to help Dungeon Masters run awesome games. Now, as the title and intro mentioned, today we're going to be talking about crap DM advice. Now, my whole intention of talking about bad Dungeon Master advice isn't to mock those who leave such advice. Okay, maybe it is just a little bit. However, my real goal is to be more like the rogue who tells the party, "Hey guys, there's a trap over here, don't step there." In other words, by knowing what bad advice is, it prevents us from taking it. Oh, and remember to stay tuned to the very end of the video for a special DM bonus tip. Alright, that's enough preface for this video. Roll that beautiful skit footage.
Alright, pull up a chair, Smalls. I'm going to teach you how this DM thing works. The first thing is that you need to make it your express purpose to oppose your players at every turn. When they are in fights, make those fights hard and do your very best to kill them. And when you do kill them, put little skull stickers on your DMG as badges of honor. Are you afraid of making your players mad at you? Are you worried that you'll lose your friends? Hey, do you want to be DM or not? Either you got what it takes or you don't.
Okay, look, this DM versus player mentality is messed up. Nothing good comes of it. Now, before some of you freak out on me, there is a big difference between running a challenging game and having a player versus DM mindset. A Dungeon Master can totally run a challenging game for his players while also rooting for them and hoping that they win so that they can go on to the next fun part of his game. The Dungeon Master who opposes the players really just wants them to fail. It's almost like he's thinking that if he gets all of the PCs to die, that if he has a TPK, that he's somehow won Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, he's got to be thinking something, right? I mean, unless he's not thinking anything at all. Look, as a Dungeon Master, you do not win D&D by intentionally killing all of your players' PCs. TPKs happen, but to intentionally gun for one as a Dungeon Master, no, that's messed up. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that every Dungeon Master who opposes the players is doing so out of a belief that he'll somehow win the game. Honestly, I don't know what motivates this asinine idea most of the time. All I can tell you is that it makes for a miserable game for your players. So my recommendation is that you don't do that. Don't have this DM versus player mentality. Now, if you hate this DM versus player mentality as much as I do, please smash that thumbs up button down below. Alright, here we go. Next skit.
Alright, gather around, kiddos. I'm going to give you a lesson in dungeon mastering. Now, this is quite possibly the most important thing you'll ever learn, so please take it to heart. Let us say that your players want to do something interesting, such as casting spells, even though they're barbarians. It is your responsibility to always say yes. Always. No matter how horrible or game-breaking something would be, you always say yes. Your players are there to have fun. Don't be a killjoy. And it doesn't matter if saying yes will set in motion a chain of events that will ultimately bring your entire campaign crashing down around you. The highest moral calling of a Dungeon Master is to always say yes.
What a bunch of stupid bullcrap. Always say yes and its brain-dead twin cousin, never say no, make number 2 on our list of second worst DM advice ever. Look, let's be clear, I am all about saying yes to players when it makes sense to do so. And failing a yes, see if you can go with the classic yes but. However, there is also a time and a place for a firm no. No, you can't jump to the moon. Now, I don't know why that example always seems to come up, but people seem to like it a lot, so I'm just rolling with it. No, you cannot break down a steel door with a wooden gavel. No, I'm not going to let you cast every spell in the player handbook. Why? Because you're a barbarian and your intelligence is 6. Now, will you have some players get upset with you if you occasionally say no? Not necessarily, but yeah, some of them probably will. And will most of it blow over? Yep, probably. And will some special snowflake throw a massive fit and rage quit your game? Yeah, I'm sure that could happen too. But if you want to save yourself crap tons of extra work that you yourself created because you let your players do anything they wanted, then you'd better learn how to say no. Hey, real quick, let me know down in the comments something that your players once wanted to do that was completely ridiculous or game-breaking and you told them no. And if you're a really brave soul, let us know about something that you allowed and then later regretted. I promise you, you will not get any flack from me. The worst that I'm gonna do is mock you in a future video. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that, but there's always a chance. Okay, now real quick, before I give you the last one, I just want to give a shout out to some awesome artists who let me use their work in my thumbnails. The first shout out goes to Wojtek. I love this guy's style. It is really, really cool. The next one is Egil Thompson. He has this really cool classic D&D style of art that I really like. Finally, I want to thank Lorenn Tyr because her work is really outstanding as well. I have left links to their artwork down in the description if you want to check them out. Alright, let's go on to number 1 in our list of second worst D&D DM advice ever.
Alright, sit down, Mr. Dungeon Master, because I'm going to tell you how this is done. Now, the most important part about the game is to forget about the game crap. Your job as a DM is to captivate your players with an amazing story. Your job as a Dungeon Master is to create a story kind of like this cake here. You want your players to eat it up. Man, I love cake. You know what? That simile probably doesn't work too well. Which is why I have ice cream too. But the point is, as a Dungeon Master, you gotta tell an amazing story. Story is king. True fact. If I were you, I would stop worrying about all the game mechanics and just focus on telling an amazing story for your players.
Alright, number 1 crap piece of D&D advice. It's all about story. Hey, you want to know what's all about story? These are all about story. They're called books. Ooh, yeah, Elminster, The Making of a Mage. That's an awesome book. And Return of the King by Tolkien. This one right here is from my grandma, actually. Very old edition of the book. Very, very cool. And let's see, George R.R. Martin. I definitely recommend his books. They're super, super cool. You're probably all watching his Game of Thrones thing on HBO, which is also really well done. And of course, here we go, Robert Jordan, also really, really cool author. Like that stuff as well. So yeah, lots of good stories here. If you're looking for a story, look no farther than a good book. And I wonder what this is all about. Let's just see what the cover says. Everything a player needs to create heroic characters for the world's greatest role-playing game. Oh, and let's see. Even the very first edition says role-playing game. D&D is not all about story. It is a role-playing game wherein, during the course of playing that game, a story is told. Yes, an interesting, dramatic story usually makes the game better, but that is not the end-all, be-all. Plenty of people have tons of fun playing Dungeons & Dragons, doing nothing more than kicking down doors and slaughtering monsters. So yes, create an awesome story to drive your campaign, but don't neglect the game part of things. And if you want proof that D&D is not all about story, I challenge you to do just one thing. Take your players' dice away from them and see what happens. By the way, if you want to hear a story about this DM versus player mentality and why it sucks so bad, then check out this video up here, Dear DM, Stop Being a Jerk. Alright, now for the DM bonus tip. Here's a quick way for you to keep track of enemy hit points. Use a die next to a mini to represent its hit points. As it takes damage, increment the die. When it reaches the maximum number on the die, that creature is dead. Now, you'll just be using rough approximations for this, but once you get the hang of it, it makes tracking hit points much faster. It also gives your players an easy way to know how an enemy is looking without having to ask you all the time. I suggest using this method for all of the mooks in your game, but I personally still like to keep track of boss hit points on a piece of paper behind my DM screen. If you have a question about DMing, please hit me up in the comments. If you like this channel, please click here to subscribe and then watch some other fine videos. And until next time, let's play D&D.